Are you tired of being weighed down? Have you fallen asleep on your health? This is your wake up call with my dad, Keith, my husband, Kyle, and me, Ashley.
Good morning, everybody. It is day 30 of our wake up call. This is Kyle here with Keith and Ashley, and we are rolling into day 30, y'all. It has been a month, which is crazy to think about that 30 days have already passed by in our journey. We're at almost a tenth of the way to our end goal, which is bonkers. But how did yesterday go?
I don't have a whole lot to tell. I sit in a chair pretty much all day working on a computer, so I didn't really get up to eat or anything till late afternoon. I had a banana and a few peanuts, and then got back to work and went to yesterday evening. We had some potatoes and black-eyed peas and kraut. That probably sounds kind of crazy, the kraut part, but
I like kraut.
I've been trying to eat kraut once a week just for my digestive tract.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be good for you and your
Good for you.
bacteria and all that. So anyway, that's about it for yesterday for me.
All right. Well, it's hard when you got, especially when you got work to do. But you got to sit down and get that work done. So,
Yep.
Hopefully this week you can find some time to get back into it. I know you will. I know you will.
I wasn't all that hungry from I eat so
From the
much
weekend.
junk from the weekend that I just
Oh,
I wasn't
I
hungry.
noticed that too yesterday. I had that
Yeah.
same thing. I just wasn't hungry.
Yeah.
Ashley, what about you yesterday?
Yesterday was a big day. I took Timmy to school with me. We had a lot of work to get done. On Mondays, I teach, 5 art classes before 11 o'clock. So, and it's all my youngest kids. I teach pre-K, 2 kindergartens, and 2 first grades, all before 11 o'clock. And
Bless you.
this is and so it's always crazy, but yesterday was especially crazy because, like I mentioned, this is our art show week, so this is the last class before the show, and they had a project that had to get done. And you're always going to have those kids that like to take their time, and so me and Timmy were like helping them cut things out and glue, and like it was very crazy. It was a marathon, definitely. I was sweating. Or my room was humid for some reason, but anyway, so we did that, and then we prepped for the art show most of the rest of the day, and then I have one more class at the end of the day for my middle schoolers, and it was pretty, so I decided we would do sketchbooks outside. And for lunch, I packed a all right lunch. I packed a sandwich and a bunch of raw veggies and hummus and an apple. And I ate like 2/3 of my veggies and hummus, and then I just didn't want to eat anymore. And I didn't drink hardly any water. That was not very smart. And then I took those kids outside, and I sat in the sun for like 40 minutes.
And so the sun drained you a little bit.
And then I came inside, and I drank some water and kept trying to work. And then I started getting that weird eye fuzzy thing, so I knew a headache was coming. So I drank like 2 more bottles of water, hoping I could I was like, maybe I'm just dehydrated, I'm going to try to nip this in the bud. So I keep working, and the headache starts happening, and then I start getting a little nauseous, and this was like at 4:30. And I said, Timmy, we got to go. Because I planned to work for another couple hours, but I just couldn't do it. So I came home and laid in bed for about an hour and a half, and Kyle comes home, and he comes in the bedroom and he asks what's wrong, and I told him I had a headache, and he goes, does Timmy have one too? And I was like, no. And he goes, well, he's asleep on the couch. And I said, okay. So apparently the school life wore Timmy out yesterday, which was
I come home all upbeat and chipper, and everybody's passed out, dead to the world. So
so it was a productive day. So I think a number of things set off that headache yesterday. I think I didn't eat enough. I didn't drink enough. And like I said, sitting in that sun probably wasn't the smartest thing either. Because it's in the upper 80s here already. We skipped spring. We went from winter to spring, basically. I mean, spring. See, my brain. We went from winter to summer. Yeah, we didn't have any mild weather at all. Which I guess this probably is mild because it'll probably be in the hundreds all summer. But anyhow, gotta go back to school today. And the thing I'm worried about today is we're having a teacher appreciation luncheon. And I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast yet, but our sweet PTO brings us lunch, and you don't fix your own plate or anything. Like, they sit us down at a table, and they bring an already prepared plate of food. And it's usually some kind of chicken dish and a little side salad and a roll and something else. And they always fix a really good dessert. And so in the past, I've usually just gone ahead and eaten it. Even if I've been trying to eat healthier, I just kind of treat it like a cheat meal or whatever. But
it's an appreciation banquet.
Right.
You don't want to be rude or turn people down.
So I've been not worried, but it's been in my brain for probably a month now because I knew it was coming. And I finally talked to the principal yesterday, and I said, do you know what we're eating? And she said, I don't know. And I said, well, I don't want to be the person giving special requests because, I don't want to start that. And these parents are so nice to even do this in the first place. And I said, but I also don't want to go and stare at my food for an hour and then leave with a plate full of food like I'm ungrateful. And I said, I don't want to hurt their feelings. And I said, maybe I could just sit this one out. And I said, it really won't hurt my feelings if I need to. I said, I could also bring my own food. I said, I don't want to make things weird or awkward or hurt anyone's feelings, And so I said, if it's easier for me just to sit this one out, I'm cool with it. But I told her, I said, I made a commitment. Our whole family is doing this thing, and I can't come off of it. I'm not going to do it. And she said, well, we never really even did come to a decision. I guess I'm going to go. And she said, well, last year people didn't eat all their food, and it was fine. And I was like, okay. And she said, if I can get a hold of them, before the lunch, I'll see if they could just give you a plate of salad or something. And I said, well, that would be great. And so I'm going. Now I might have to sit there and stare at sit there and stare at chicken for, an hour. But, it'll be fine. I'm not worried as much about leaving the food on the plate as I am about people. Like I said this before, people asking me why, and then most people, when they're trying to eat healthier, can eat cheat meals like that and it'd be no big deal to them because they're eating meat. And so it's like, well, one day it's not going to do anything. Well, I'm not eating meat or dairy, and I'm not at a point where I've lost enough to where I feel confident explaining that to people without them thinking I'm crazy. So I'll update y'all on what happens tomorrow, but that is my current stress right now because I'm going to go to school and do that, and then I'll take Timmy. I guess I'll pack him some sandwiches or something, but we'll have to work on the art show today as well. So yeah, that was a long story, but
No, but I mean, you touched on what you're concerned about today. Um, my day yesterday, um, so it was Sunday night. We had the graduation stuff. I think we talked about that yesterday.
Yep.
But before we went to church that night, I had some problems in my hip. I had kind of sharp pain running through the inside of my hip, my groin area, down my leg to my heel. And it was kind of in a line. So I had that going on Sunday night. I took some ibuprofen and shook it off. Well, I got up after we got done talking yesterday and I got to work. It kind of got to hurt more. So I called the chiropractor yesterday. Yesterday morning was absolutely a whirlwind because I had training. Thank goodness that the trainings that I did, they had some food. I had lunch and everything packed, but when they had their food at the training, they had fruits and vegetables there, and I was so thankful to get some grapes and some strawberries. It was just a nice little refreshing thing to have. I did drink some coffee yesterday. I hadn't had coffee in about a week. And yesterday was just the morning for it. I was just kind of feeling it. So I had some coffee yesterday. Lunch, I got so busy. I had started my lunch. I got through my vegetables. I had a student stop by who I really needed to talk to. A young man I'd worked with a whole lot. So I put my lunch on hold and just never got back to it. Rolled around 4:30 and it was time to go. So went to the chiropractor. Sure enough, there was an issue going on. I hadn't been to the chiropractor in a while, but he said that I had put pressure on my sciatic nerve in my left leg because my hips were all out of balance. We'll get to talking about what we're doing weight training wise, and he said you're probably seeing a little bit of this when it was really funny because he could tell me what I was doing on my deadlifts. He said, your hips are out of balance. Your right knee's probably drifting as you lift. And as Ashley can attest, one of my complaints has been as I'm deadlifting, my right knee kind of pulls.
Yeah.
And he said, your hips are all out of whack. One of them's higher, your right's higher than your left. And it's putting pressure on that sciatic nerve. So he adjusted all that yesterday, which was nice. Then I came home and,
found everybody asleep.
Everybody was passed out. So Ashley looked up and said, Can you put some potatoes on?
I probably did sound like that.
I said, yes, I'll put some potatoes on. She said, okay. So I just went ahead and went all the way. I did potatoes and beans and did some mustard greens. So that's what we had. And then Timmy had chicken nuggets. So that was a new form of torture that I haven't endured in these last 30 days. Was have all this, and then I pulled out the air fryer and chucked Timmy's chicken nuggets in it and got to smell those for a good 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He disposed of it quickly, though, so I was very appreciative of that.
Yeah, he does always eat fast, but those chicken nuggets smelled so good, though.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
No, I mean, that was my yesterday. Today, I mean, my goal is I need to drink more water. There's no telling how much sodium I took in this summer. I mean, this summer, this weekend. I saw a thing pop up yesterday where this guy had gone out and he decided he was going to eat all the healthy options on all the fast food menus. So he went for because the fast food industry is trying to change some things because, everybody's trending towards healthier, more wholesome foods right now. So they're trying to get in on the game. And he was just showing some dietary nutritional facts about the food he was eating. And he got to Taco Bell, which ding, 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 we ended up going to the other night. And he showed their Cantina Fresh burrito had like 1,347 milligrams of sodium.
Ooh.
Just one burrito. And then I got to thinking, I had a bean burrito the other night. How many grams of sodium or milligrams of sodium?
Did you look it up?
No, I didn't. I was afraid to. I knew it was pretty high because of the salt that was in it. But I mean, the guy did that. He did lose 6 pounds, but he said, I was hungry the entire week. He said, I could only eat stuff off of the healthy menu options at fast foods. And he said, after every meal, I always ended up wanting more just because, there's not a lot to it. And, you're intaking a lot of calories.
Yes. That's something that I do like about this way of eating is you can eat a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of times you have to eat a lot to get the amount of calories your body needs. But if you eat a hamburger, that fills up just a tiny portion of your stomach, and that's all the calories you get for a meal or something. And I remember doing this kind of low-carb thing like 8 years ago or something. That was probably the last time I tried doing a low-carb before I was more educated. I would be hungry. I'd be hungry all the time because I'd be eating like a grilled chicken breast and some green beans, and that's not going to fill you up, folks. You're still going to be hungry. It's like a form of torture, really. But I can eat a bowl of beans, and feel much more satisfied and probably still be under on the calories I would have been consuming eating a chicken breast or something. So.
Well, he did say as he ordered these, he tried to do set menu items for like meals or whatever. And like, he said on most of them, his calories, he had to eat multiples to get enough calories. He actually did come under his daily total calories, but he didn't get outside of his meals very much. So, like, he got, I guess, like an egg white McMuffin from McDonald's, and it was only 300 and something calories, but he said that was 300 calories till my lunch. And he's like, that had to last me. And he's like, you guys, we're all familiar with the egg McMuffin. It's not the biggest sandwich on the planet. So you're getting 300 calories for this little tiny bit of food to last you till lunch. Whereas you think about a plant-based diet, you can get a lot quantity-wise, you can get a lot of food for 300 calories.
Yep.
Get a lot of real estate for 300 calories.
And another thing to remember also is it's not even just getting away from calories. It's not nutrient dense. Nutrients also give you energy, right? So your vitamins and your greens and stuff, that's helping give you energy and sustain you. You're not getting any vitamins out of an Egg McMuffin. Sorry, you're not.
Nope.
So not only do you have this tiny little 3 bites of a sandwich that's got to get you through till lunch, but you've got no kind of nutrients.
You get
no kind of nutrients,
And so, here's one of the major problems is because, and this just kind of popped in my head, that Egg McMuffin is simple carbohydrates, right? Because they've processed it to oblivion. It's chock full of chemicals.
Right, because it's not just an egg, which is bad anyway, but it's probably a egg white in a carton, which has who knows what added to it to preserve it.
Granted,
and make
an egg white by itself doesn't have near as much cholesterol as a whole egg, But
Right.
like you said, all the chemicals and stuff in it. So you're getting a cholesterol bomb. Plus, they generally put cheese on those, right?
Yeah.
So you're getting a fat bomb, and you're getting a fat bomb in general because they cook the egg in oil. There's oil in
They toast that
the
McMuffin in butter. Oh, they're good. You got me thinking about them now, but
you've got the fat, because let's be honest, they're not Five Guys. Five Guys uses real American cheese. McDonald's does not, right? So it's a lot of oil in the cheese.
Dad, tell about your piece of cheese you put on top of the fridge.
I took a excuse me. I took a piece of Kraft American
single?
cheese, single slice, and I just laid it on a paper towel and laid it out, on the counter. And within 7 days, it was hard as a brick. But anyway, the moral of the story, that thing is still laying there nearly a year later. It looks like plastic. It has no mold, no anything on it. I mean, it seriously looks like a piece of plastic.
That's so gross.
And you got to wonder, if you're feeding yourself that kind of processed food, what's it doing to your insides?
Yeah.
It's not like, and this is not necessarily even advocating for dairy, but you think back 100 years ago, people ate fresh meat and raw cheese that they went out in the field,
And made
they
themselves.
chose their cow,
Yeah.
they slaughtered it, they put it up, they stored it, they preserved it with natural things. They used salt to preserve, or they
And they didn't eat
cooked it in the
meat.
smokehouse.
And because they worked so hard and had such a limited supply of that stuff, they didn't eat meat like we do now.
Well,
They-
especially beef, because
Right.
you have to have a way to store that. And unless you use preserving techniques, long-term beef storage just was not a reality until the last 200 years. And so if you killed the beef, it had to be an all-out celebration, or it was killed, split amongst the community. And that's where butchers came in, because they could take a whole cow, split it amongst everybody, and get rid of it pretty quick. But the highly processed stuff has come around in the last century, and it's interesting that we've seen this boom in obesity that follows with it. But the whole
Right.
point was, this guy ate this fast food healthy. He lost 6.5 pounds, and he said, but I was hungry the entire week. There's no roughage to it. There's nothing to fill you up. There's
And I'm
nothing
sure-
to stick with.
I'm sure if he did some kind of blood test or something, his levels probably would be kind of out of whack as well,
Yeah, he
If you're
kind
not
of
eating any kind
highlights
of-
the fact that he felt kind of not necessarily gross. He didn't feel gross, but he could kind of feel heavy because he ate it for every meal. So
Yeah.
so that was just
Well-
an interesting thing I saw. But my goal
Yeah, this-
today is we got weight training today, so I'm looking forward to it.
Cool.
I'm starting to feel it in my chest and my shoulders and my arms. My posture's improved greatly because of it, which has helped all around. So I'm looking forward to that, though. All
All
right.
right.
Well,
Let's lay it out there today. Let's get it done. Thank you for listening today. Hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to follow us at Our Heavy House on social media. And we'll be back tomorrow. Have a good one.